still, they played it fantastically, and King RD, he knows his way around this hero.
5 seconds.
Yeah, clearly he was pressuring the tower so aggressively. Admittedly, he wasn't punished as hard as he should have been. There wasn't really much vision aside from a couple sentries early on, because that game was a little bit clowny, I guess you can say. But the Broodmother, just such a strong hero in this patch. You just leave her to do her thing. She's applying constant pressure, and it always has to be on the mind of Team Leviathan. Is she getting too much? Is she pushing too hard? Because once she's at those tier 3s, you've lost any map defense you might have.
And yeah, Stalker now getting picked up by
just
Team
freaking
Leviathan.
broken.
I mean, this guy, we talk about him. He's, as you said, he's freaking broken. To what extent, though, do you think he plays in this? I mean, he obviously has really great silence, goes against the Ember Spirit, but in terms of the Broodmother, do you think he's going to have as big of an impact in that lane, or should he just avoid the Brood altogether and go for other kills?
They need to just do dual off lane with, like, is Tusk still in the game? I think they should pick Tusk here. Oh.
Well, that's a pretty nice call. But yeah, a little bit of wrong team there, but I think the Tusk combos really well, because again, leave Broodmother to do her thing. Tusk can travel with the Ember Spirit and presumably whatever last pick they're going to pick, which should be their mid, I'm guessing, unless they're going to throw Ember Spirit in there. But he combos really well, he sets up the fights, he allows people to know when to go in, it'll set up for a really nice Ancient Apparition ult, so I think a really nice team fighter overall.
10 seconds.
Yeah, team fighting is going to be fantastic right now. I mean, T-Show, they've got so many opportunities to maneuver around the fight, have a ball, quite literally, by engaging when they want to, disengaging, having a pretty clean one. Now, the one thing they've got to be worried about is the Winter Wyvern. If they get caught within that Winter's Curse, it could be the end of their team fight. Leviathan having plenty of damage to follow up with it. Typically, I think in this scenario, they like to go for things like the Bat Rider or other ways to kind of maneuver around the team fight. I know they pick up Bat a lot when they grab that Shadow Fiend, but with the Night Stalker already on the field, maybe, maybe not. I'm not quite sure how these two go together, if at all. But around the general gist of the fight, I mean, we're looking at our 4th pick here. Do you think they're going to go for another support, or where do you think they go?
I think they might want to pick up their mid, unless they're throwing Night Stalker in there, because I really am not sure how you lane Night Stalker against T-Show's lineup, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and pick their offlaner, Clockwork. What do you think of that?
I was about to say they should pick Clockwork, and now I just look like I'm trying to sound smart. I think like the Clockwork Night Stalker lane shuts down whoever they put as their safe laner, and then the Winter Wyvern +1 that they put in the off lane. I think it has to be like. I wouldn't... Oh, they banned out Legion Commander. I can't think of who they want to put in the safe lane. Maybe a PL. PL
yeah, I
would
think
be
PL
okay.
would be really, really strong. Can just use all that lane space to farm up, get really big, and then just walk onto T-Show and spray some damage there. But T-Show are going to opt for the Queen of Pain, presumably their mid-hero there. I really like this matchup. I know Queen of Pain has fallen off a little bit since 6.84, but I think she's still unbelievably strong in the mid lane. So much damage, pretty nice farming potential, and she just snowballs into the mid game very nicely.
Yeah, they're basically just going to look to run over Team Leviathan before 30 minutes. I think if you're Leviathan, you just want somebody who, like, they've got the Winter Wyvern, they've got Clockwork, they can both clear lanes very quickly. Shadow Fiend also very good at clearing waves, so they basically just want to sit on high ground. I think like a PL or a Spectre would be good here. Spectre gets run over a little bit in the lane by Broodmother, though. I don't know.
Yeah, might have a little bit of a hard time, but hopefully we won't see that Pudge again. Picked up against a Broodmother. That was...
Really? We won't? I want to see the Pudge again. Are you kidding me?
It was a
Pudge would be
pretty
okay.
unhappy performance, but Spectre might do okay, but she needs to get a Radiance, but like you said, Broodmother can bully her pretty well. She's a little bit squishy, and until she has that level 6, she doesn't really have any teamfight potential.
And oh, wow. I kind of like this one, actually.
They're just going for like massive amounts of bursts on T-Show. So it's like if you want to walk uphill, you have to walk into Dagger, you have to walk into Clockwork Flare, you have to walk uphill into Night Stalker, potentially using his nighttime to reduce your vision. So they're just making the high ground defense very difficult. They're kind of saying like, yeah, our lanes are going to get messed up. PA can farm from under tower with her Dagger, kind of. And then just don't die to Broodmother. I think that's their main objective. Just don't die.
I really like that strategy, especially against heroes like the Ember Spirit and the Queen of Pain that are so slippery. They can go in, Ember Spirit with the Sleight of Fist, Queen of Pain goes in, blinks out. Heroes that are typically considered very slippery, hard to get a hold of, hard to lock down. You don't really need to lock down when you can just spray your damage at them as fast as possible.
Yeah, Phantom Assassin actually deals pretty well with this lineup too. I mean, we talk about this hero is incredibly powerful, but her evasion is just incredible to deal with the Broodmother. You take a look, a lot of the aggression that Broodmother can do on comes from the Spiderlings, comes from her own right click. But if the PA can get that Battle Fury out quickly and can just, you know, sustain a little bit in lane, a little will go a long way, and she'll be able to, as the game progresses even further into the later portions, she'll just be able to blow up the Broodmother in no time at all. So I really like the PA pick here. I think it's very strong, but we'll have to see exactly how they lane it and if they can do it successfully, as we've got Leviathan going up against T-Show. The best of 3 lower bracket finals, 1 game before the grand finals. That is, the winner will go on to face Unknown. The loser will take the not so coveted 3rd place. Of course, Leviathan versus T-Show. For Leviathan, it's going to be New Sham on the Night Stalker. Mindscape Vanguard, he's going to be on the Shadow Fiend, better known as Chilanqua or Francis, doing a little dance. Flying Zebra is going to be on the Winter Wyvern, literally flying around. Shibby on the Phantom Assassin, and Jenkins playing the Clockwork.
All right, well, on the side of T-Show in the off lane, we're going to go ahead and see King RD on his favorite little spider. In the mid lane, we're going to see Sis on the Queen of Pain. Following him up, we're going to see Kierdo Serhuman on the Tusk, and then Baga on the Ancient Apparition, and quickly we're going to see Therence on the Ember Spirit.
All right, Therence, of course, we saw him play a couple of really great carry games against the Ember Spirit in the last series. Now he's going to be playing the Ember Spirit himself. We'll see if he's going to be able to put the same pressure on the enemy that was put on him, or if he's going to suffer the same drawbacks as he did, as this is just going to be a fantastic game. I love both of these teams. They bring so much to the table, and they've got such good character, too. They have amazing resilience, and, you know, it's going to be a great game. Look forward to potentially all 3 games being played.
Absolutely. This mid matchup, I think, is going to be really interesting. Mineski Fangirl is going to take a lot of damage from Sis, and Sis taking a lot of damage from him as well. So just a lot of kill potential from both sides in the mid lane, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top.
Both off lanes in a lot of trouble. Might be King RD who dies. What is going... Oh, man. What a time to pause. Both off laners in a very sticky situation. I think it's safe to say King RD is dead. And maybe Jenkins gets away alive.
Jenkins can pop himself.
Ah.
Yeah, he is a self.
Alright, so Jenkins is alive. King RD, not so much.
Yeah,
Dead
I mean,
AF.
There it is.
And Phantom Assassin's gonna be the one to grab that, and that's gonna help her out a lot with her early game farm, which is gonna be fantastic.
Alright, so taking a look, we're 1 minute in, first blood already coming down. Looking at the 2 offlaners here right now, King RD has gone down. Jenkins playing a bit more aggressive, but hasn't actually died. Now, will these offlanes be the volatile positions, or do you think from this point on, maybe it's going to be an outlier if we see one of them die?
I think Jenkins is going to play very safe, although the Ancient Apparition is going in and just harassing the crap out of him, which is going to make Therence farm very effectively. But I think bottom lane, we could still see a lot of kills because there is a lot of, you know, as long as you have a Sentry Ward down.
Oh.
Yeah?
Oh, the Clockwork disrupted a pull with his rocket. That was really good. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it looks like he might be in some trouble now, as he's just going to continue to go up to the wave, doing what a Clockwork does, trying to get as much experience as he can, but this guy's going to be suffering for last hits for a very long time. Therence is just such a mean force to go up against, and especially with Baga, that ranged right click is just absolutely disgusting. He's hitting for only 51 damage, but it sure hurts when you're a little Clockwork.
Let's take a look to the mid lane. I mean, Francis is having a little bit of a tough time here. Every single Shadow Strike seems to be connecting on him, and Sis, well, that is a very difficult hero to deal with, but as far as this lane's going, do you think Francis could be playing this a little bit better, or what's up with him right now?
I think he's just letting himself take a little bit too much damage from the Queen of Pain. She did level that Shadow Strike pretty early. She wants to get as much harass as possible, but I think he needs to play it a little bit more farm-oriented. He's not going to be able to trade damage in the form of raises because she's so quick to get in and out of the fights. He just needs to go in for last hits and get out.
He bought his own TP. This actually sets him back a lot. I don't know why Flying Zebra didn't buy one for him. Oh well.
Does he go for bottle here? I mean, of course
he
does, but it's going to be very, very late. Where does he go after this? Just hope that he can get some stacks and farm up, or is he just going to be forever gimped by how this mid lane is going right now?
I think it's going to come down to kills. I think if for some reason he can secure a kill on the Queen of Pain, he'll put himself in a pretty good position. But the Queen of Pain, she's playing this very, very smart, has her bottle completed. She's going up, she knows when to attack, she knows when to go for hits. She's just doing a good job in this lane.
This is rough. Like, the supports for Leviathan are too preoccupied doing everything they can to shut down the Broodmother, so they can't do stacks for the Shadow Fiend. So he needs to either go stack for himself or play without stacks, which no SF player wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, take a look at his bottle. He's trying to bottle Crow up to keep himself full, but he was down to, God, had to have been less than 100 HP not too long ago. And even after that full bottle Crow, he is only at 410. The amount of harass that's coming out into him is abysmal. Now, looks like King RD having a very easy time on the bottom lane. It has 2 sentry wards on the ground, which I imagine were used to de-ward. And Jenkins having an almost equally as, will I say, fun time. Actually, maybe not. He's got some aggression coming out. The Snowball, Therence is close by as well. And with the Flame Guard, actually hit through with the Flare and actually just goes down. Gets surrounded by the Cogs, by the Ice Shards. The Cogs, of course, being his own self's fault, but that was a pretty decent kill going the way of T-Show, and Jenkins maybe a little bit too aggressive.
And he heats his mango there. Once he realized he was kind of screwed by the snowball, once he realized that Tusk was coming at him, he just ate the mango. Hopefully, I don't know, he may have just been going to try to get that battery assault off and see what damage it could do, but doesn't pay the price, so he loses 150 gold for that mango, and now he has to TP back to lane.
I think he's okay with that. He was trying to force out a kill onto the Ember Spirit, who was very low, so he's just trying to create pressure so that his mid can't be ganked, because Francis is having a rough enough time already, so if the supports have time to breathe, and they make a rotation towards mid and they get a successful kill, it makes it even harder for him to come back into the game. So he's basically just creating pressure for to benefit his team. Like, you're okay dying once or so in the off lane if it gets you something else elsewhere on the map.
Yeah.
And that mango, we talked about Clockwork having the mango, but it's funny because Shibby also has a mango in his inventory. So do you think Leviathan, they trust the mango build, or is this kind of a cheeky sort of non-traditional
Mango is the best item in Dota.
I totally agree, and Ember Spirit has one as well.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, he's had one all game.
Dang. So
I think
guess
that might be a panic mango if he needs to make a remnant in a sticky situation or something like that.
Well, I love Mango. Oh, Snowball top lane. Jenkins going to be in bit trouble. They get him with the Searing Chains. Flame Guard flying through. And what does he even do about this? Well, of course, the obvious answer is he can't do anything, but he just has to play so much further back. That was not a kill he wants to give up.
Yeah, I mean, Clockwork offlane is always a bit of a tough time. He has 9 last hits, which is more than I would expect for him. He's gotten up to the wave a fair amount when Therence was off farming the jungle camps, but he can't die. He needs to play a little bit safer. He wants to get up to the lane to get that XP, but he just needs to just take a breath because the Ancient Apparition and the Tusk can punish him so much for being out of position.
He's still doing okay. Like, 2 deaths is still acceptable, quote unquote. He's level 5, keeping almost even with the Broodmother in the offlane. So I think if you're Leviathan, you're not too worried. You basically just want him to get level 6 and make a rotation to either kill a support or the Queen of Pain. I think it's worth. They might also go for the Broodmother.
Do you think they can kill the Broodmother down here? I mean, she's just.
They can. They can.
Yeah, I think the dagger would do a number on her. She's pretty squishy at this point, only having 700 HP.
Well, once they get the hook on Clockwork, they can definitely kill. It's just a toss-up between whether or not they want to go for the Queen of Pain or the Broodmother. It's like a choice between the guaranteed kill.
Tusk coming in onto Winter Wyvern, using that Arctic Burn to fly over the trees just to get away, and Queen of Pain rotates in as well. So a little bit of wasted time here from Sis. Although they are going in, are they going to try to kill under the tier 1 tower? As Shibby is there, left pretty much all alone. As
he doesn't have a TP.
King RD is in deep. Sis is now there. He has his ultimate if he wants to use it. It will be used, and now Tusk gets the kill.
Wait, how did Gyarados or Human get the kill? That was a Sonic Wave and a bunch of Spiderlings hitting.
He threw in an Ice Shards and it got the last hit.
Kill secure.
Yeah, this bottom lane is suffering, and you don't like. PA is building straight into a Battle Fury because he recognizes that he needs to be able to catch up and farm. But because the SF is taking all the stacked camps, it's going to be difficult to figure out who takes priority over the 2 in terms of clearing out camps.
Yeah.
But Francis is basically back in the game. He's topping the last hit chart now. And net worth.
Net worth. Yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself, but he is having the courier follow him around, and he could end up running into Sis, although Sis is going to TP out. We'll get out just fine as Winter Wyvern has nothing to cancel that TP. Broodmother, how's she doing?
Soul Ring, she's got the Medallion of Courage completed. She's doing pretty well, like all things considered. Maybe able to make him roll on the mid lane. It's going to be Ninesky Vanguard getting the kill. Of course, Francis diving down on that Shadow Fiend. We've got a snowball turning around onto Jenkins. Perhaps Gyarados or Human could find another kill here, and it looks like it will happen, though it is the melee creep to finish that one off. Jenkins not too happy about that. Meanwhile, King RD, he's going to bring down Flying Zebra. Maybe tries to find more. Shibby,
mid lane.
The next target. Oh, yep, going back on towards the mid. It's going to be Nusham taking a bunch of damage from those ice shards. And he will actually be the one to fall. Leviathan dropping 1 by 1. And 2 by 2. T-Show playing around with their food right now.
Yeah, it's not even 10 minutes in the game, and T-Show has a pretty moderately sizable lead in XP, and then in terms of gold, it's pretty sizable in their favor. T-Show are just getting a little bit more out of the map at this point. I think having the Broodmother there to farm up all the Radiant camps is certainly helping, denying the Shadow Fiend a lot of experience that he desperately needs.
They're going for like an incredibly early game focused item build because they've got phase boots on the Ember. They're not going for the boot to travel build that you sometimes see. They're getting an Orchid on the Queen of Pain instead of the Nags. So they're very focused on on ending the game before 30 minutes.
A bit of trouble here. Looks like they've got the vision for him, but can he juke through the trees? They have that one stifling dagger, but it doesn't connect. Oh, King RD, he barely gets out of there alive. You can see him stumbling, 2 legs limp. And then comes the rocket, and it will not connect, but they're still hunting for him. Don't think they find him at this point.
No, mid lane, Sis is going to take a little bit of damage from the Shadow Fiend raises, but is still doing pretty well, falling behind in terms of net worth behind the Shadow Fiend. But Sis, I think, has just been really great in terms of rotations, going in, helping get the assists, and then I mean, Shadow Fiend's just mostly been searching for farm and desperately trying to get it, but with the Broodmother now invading his mid-jungle camps, is he going to fall behind again?
Take a look towards mid lane. We got the Ice Blast coming through. Doesn't connect on anyone. Now Sis is going in for that kill. Raise number 1, trying to get raise number 2. He ends up popping the magic wand. He actually will get the trade-off. Oh, he gets it after he goes down, though, so no experience for him. As Nusham makes his way in towards mid, trying to look for another sort of vengeance kill, but it won't end up being anything. All the while, King Ray trying to farm up. The hook will fly through, but he properly jukes it out. And so Jenkins will come up empty-handed. But that trade-off in the mid lane, it almost seemed like Francis was just going to straight up go down, but plays that one perfectly, is able to keep himself alive with the wand, and, you know, doing pretty well with that counter-initiation.
Yeah, just going back to T-Show, Broodmother is just doing so awesome right here. She's going in, getting all of the Radiant jungle farm that she can, and she's completely pushing the lane. She's leaving Phantom Assassin, and Phantom Assassin does have free farm down here, essentially. It's going to go that Battle Fury build, but Broodmother has been doing such a good job making this lane her own. She is absolutely doing fine here and hasn't really felt a whole lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think, like, the biggest advantage of having this Broodmother is that you're shutting down the enemy support so hard. Like, look, the bottom 3 net worth are all Leviathan heroes. Like, this Clockwork has 0 game impact because he's missed every single hook that he's tried.
Well, I think he got one on the
Broodmother.
Well,
yeah.
he hasn't got kills out of it.
Okay,
is what I'm saying. Like, he's not making ganks happen. So because he's so behind in net worth, he doesn't pose a threat to anybody. Like, Terrence is just gonna run. There's nothing he can do about it.
In fact,
look, he's dead.
Straight on to Jenkins. They come in with a snowball, and it looks like Sis, he might have been saved by that, though. He will end up going down. The Void will fly through. The silence on the Ference, but he just runs away as the Ice Blast now comes into the bottom lane. It will connect on to Nusham, and that means Ference is going to go ahead, Remnant straight on in, goes after Flying Zebra, gets the kill on the first one, and even though that Void came out, Ference is actually in a bit of trouble. They go around with a Crippling Fear. In comes Minesky. Francis will grab the kill. And Jenkins is in close by for that one. Gets his level 8 off that. Net worth still hurting. But T-Show, they lose 2 for a very aggressive dive.
Yeah, in the bottom lane, Broodmother's just ratting it out. She has a whole big wad of Spiderlings. And, I mean, Shibby, she's doing pretty good in terms of farm, almost at that Battle Fury. But what can you really do against such a incredible Broodmother? Just putting constant pressure. Probably is going to get the tier 2 before the Phantom Assassin gets to Battle Fury and has a way to deal with the spiders.
even then, he doesn't have boots. Like, there's nothing he can... If he gets ganked by more than 2 or 3 heroes, I think he's just dead.
I didn't even notice that. Not even brown boots. That's...
Nope. He doesn't
That seems
have
a
boots.
little bit risky. I mean, there's the blink, but then if that goes sour, what else do you have?
You have nothing. I think he's basically resigned himself to the fact that if he gets ganked, he's gonna die, regardless of what boots he has. So he's just rushing the Battle Fury so he can get farm. And counting on the fact that like they just don't want to gank him.
Broodmother might get surrounded here, as there is vision on the Nightstalker having 2 dusts, and there is some sentry wards going down past this middle camp. So if Broodmother shows herself, she might be dead. Does she realize there's such imminent danger? Does she have any vision of this?
She's fine.
Like that call. She's fine. Staying on the high ground looking for that.
There's nothing
room.
they can do against this Broodmother until like 15, 16 minutes, or they need to gank her as 5.
So they just sent out the ice shards or the splinter shot as well as the rocket and completely annihilated an entire swarm of spiderlings. That's not a bunch of gold you want to give up.
Still, just look at how much attention she commands on the map. Like all 5 of Leviathan's heroes are concentrated in like the jungle, and then you have Francis who's sitting in mid. Like this Ember Spirit's just free farming. He's already up to a drum.
Ooh, double damage Nightstalker. If he runs into Broodmother, she might actually be in trouble there, but she's just going to go chill on this cliff waiting near the rune spot. And is she just wasting Radiant's time at this point?
I don't know. I think she's doing a pretty decent job at trying to force, Leviathan to stay in their jungle and hunt. But the thing is, Shibby has gotten his Battle Fury. Now he's got boots. He can clean up the Broodmother Spiderlings if push comes to shove. Now, she can't exactly man-fight King RD just yet, Shibby not being quite as strong as he needs to be. But if you have multiple heroes down there, it gets a lot easier. And it looks like they want to go for it here as, oh, Francis, he's actually waiting for this one. They catch him out, and they will bring him down. And just like that, they turn straight into the Roche Pit. Francis is there, Maelstrom, or Shibby as well. They should be able to get a decently timed Aegis, but it looks like no, T-Show are going to pressure them a little bit around the pit, and that'll force them to at least back off for a short amount of time.
I really like that restraint showed by Leviathan right there. They know that the Flying Sigil sees them. They know that there's probably a way T-Show can deal with it, the Queen of Pain being right there, and they decide just don't force it, don't fight. They got what they want, clean pick off, and get out safely, which is how they're going to get themselves really into this game. Hookshot is onto the wrong creep, but into Sis. Now it looks like Sis is going to be voided up, taking a lot of damage, trapped in the cogs, and will go down to the Clockwork. Now Therence might be in some trouble, but he wants to turn this. Sleight of Fist going in, Remnant into the fight. Ice Shards, Ice Blast is off the mark. But now we're going to see just kind of a stalemate. No one goes down, but Clockwork gets very, very low.
That was exactly what they needed. They needed something during the nighttime just to make Clockwork relevant. He gets up to his Trenko boots now. I think he's just going to rush the Blade Mail, right? I think that's what you do here.
Yeah, Blade Mail could be pretty good on him right now, especially when you go up against a hero like a Broodmother. It forces her to the point where if she initiates on you, she can't just keep attacking you or she'll just kill herself. Clockwork's an incredibly tanky hero. It becomes a big issue just trying to kill him at one point or another without the Blade Mail. When he's got it, then it gets very hard. So T-Show, I mean, they're still doing really well. We talked about Ember Spirit having free farm Therence, looking at the phase drums now with 2,000 gold. If he's going the Battle Fury route, the Rush Battle Fury route rather, he should be able to have it in a decent amount of time. I'm not talking like the 16-minute anti-mage timing, as we are passing the 16-minute mark, but something like 22 minutes or so to get that Battle Fury out would not be too shabby, considering he went for these 2 other items first.
Looks like we might see an engagement here. Arctic Blast is going to go in. Spider's getting cleaned up, and now Broodmother running for her life. And Hookshot is off the mark, so no further engage coming out of that. I want to talk about Shibby's farm. We were talking about how she was struggling, didn't even have boots, was going for a Battle Fury first build, but now she's clawed her way back up onto that net worth chart, sitting right behind the Shadow Fiend, has that finished Battle Fury and some treads, and ready to move on to her second item, having almost 1k gold in the bank.
As
good kill on
is able to bring down Sis in the mid lane. That's kind of an awkward kill as he makes his way up towards the top as well. Don't think he is able to solo Therence, though he may as well try. It is nighttime for a short amount of time.
He's going for a Manta style on the Ember Spirit.
That's smart. I mean, we've got Crippling Fear out on Nusham. Any silence, that silence is too good. As in the mid lane, Francis is going to be able to bring down Kratos Sarahuman. So the Ice Blast will come in, maybe looking for a little bit more harass. I don't think it finds any kills here. No follow-up for the Ice Blast either, so no shattering will be happening on the side of Leviathan. But Nusham...
What do you think about this AA's item build?
AA?
Yeah. Look what he's
like
building.
it.
He's going for a mech.
I don't think it's bad. I think he might be their most natural mech carrier. I mean,
Well, yeah,
unless you want
somebody
to
has
get it
to
on.
build it.
Yeah, exactly. I think someone has to build it. I think it'll help him out a lot, give him just a little bit more survivability, I guess. And he's going to be in all these major team fights trying to cast out his Ice Blast from the back line, so he may as well have it. Hook shot onto a jungle creep is going to catch out King RD, but just going in to steal the farm, not really going to bother trying to catch down that spider who's been so good about getting exactly out of vision. This spider has been fantastic, but Winter Wyvern going to opt to pick up a very early gem. Or not super early, I guess, but they want to stop this spider.
I think, like, if you look at their net worth, they're up by about 2,000. They want to kind of extend their lead and make it more difficult for T-Show to push into them. Because it's like, it's almost 20 minutes. You have a Broodmother and you've only taken towers. I think T-Show are going to be under a lot of pressure.
Walrus punch, in comes the Ice Blast, and a quick, clean, and easy kill for T-Show. As I interrupt you there, we'll go back to your
That's
thoughts.
fine. I mean, they're just under a lot of pressure to make things happen. They're going to smoke now. Like, they've immediately got a kill. They want to go and stop the PA from, or the PL from farming. Yeah, the PA.
You were right the first time. And actually,
Yeah,
it looks like Shibby's going to walk straight into them. So, they get the vision out just barely. They're running up. They find her. They catch her with the Shadow Strike. And that is a very, very dead Phantom Assassin. Tries to interdimensionally switch, but ends up getting torn apart by the Entropy. So, moving on.
What do you think of this moderately late Midas by the Night Stalker?
He has to go for it. They're just going for late game. Like, they're saying, we're going to extend the game past 50 minutes or so, 40 minutes. I think even at 40 minutes it would be okay. Because you see the Broodmother is going for only early game items. It's a Medallion of Courage and 2 of Vlad's. It's just early game pushing. They're going to take it tier 2 now.
Yep, tier 2 is going to be pretty much down. They could go for a rush, or they could even possibly push tier 3 if this fight goes really well.
Oh man, and Therence, look at the Winter's Curse. He just all powered on him and killed him, their own teammate. Sis will end up going down on top of that. Jenkins getting another kill for them. T-Show losing 2, still not getting the tier 2 tower. That was an incredible Winter's Curse, but also some questionable positioning from Leviathan as, maybe King RD goes down here. He's got a web in the Roche Pit. They don't really have that much vision for him either. Maybe put a sentry ward on the high ground. Oh wait, no, they've got Flying Zebra with it. Jet? Wait, who? How's the
Tusk is still on the run here. Now, Jenkins might be in some trouble here as he walks into the AA, and now King RD is back. Walrus punch to the face. This guy's stuck in the ice shards. Is Jenkins going to go down? And he will. Spider squirted into his dead corpse. And now Shibby comes in, is going to get a nice clean kill on the Tusk. Going to go back into the Roche Pit. Who takes the Aegis here? Is that Shadow Fiend?
Yeah,
yeah.
It has to be. That's a really selfless play by Jenkins, though. He's essentially... Okay, that's okay. But Jenkins basically just distracting T-Show, because that's a kill they have to go for. He's just pushing in mid. Like, they have to stop him. So they secure Roche for themselves at the cost of their Clockwork, who honestly isn't worth much at this point. He just needs his Blade Mail, and then he's basically done, I think, for the rest of the game.
He needs his Blade Mail, and he needs to start hitting hooks, because every team fight it feels like it's just slightly off the mark, and it could be a very different fight if he gets that really nice initiation that they want.
Yeah, I mean, that's a given, but I think in terms of hook targets, there aren't a whole lot that he can hit and then reliably kill without another item. Like the Ember Spirit just remnants out, the Queen of Pain blinks away, Broodmother walks away, Tusk also has a snowball, so the Clockwork here is just mostly going to be sacrificial, break up the fight. Maybe he just hooks onto the Ancient Apparition, actually. Prevent the mech usage, prevent all the spells from coming out.
What do you think of this Spider's item build? It seems like she's going a little bit more selfless than I typically see Broodmothers in this position go.
They recognize that the late game is impossible for them to win, so they just have to go ultra push. I think if they were banking on being able to take the Roche, which is why she built into the Solar Crest first. Like, if they had taken that tier 2 bottom and then moved into Roche, I think the game would be in a completely different position.
Queen of Pain's going to go ahead and finish up her Orchid, which was her first item, and it seems like she might just be a little bit behind where she's... Yeah, it seems really late. She does have her completed Treads and a Null Talisman on top of that, so she wanted a couple stats before she goes straight into her first item, but I would have expected her to start some progress on her Ags or BKB, whatever she decides to go.
Yeah, I think, like... They're in a really bad position right now. Their early game was okay, but their Ember Spirit isn't as farmed as they would like, and he's not going to get more farmed as time goes on. Nusham is actually going to try and set a kill up here.
Broodmother has like a gazillion spiderlings. It's hysterical. She's going to go ahead and just take Ancient. So this entire bottom half of the map right here, this is just hers. No one else is able to farm there.
They can't engage into team fights. Like, look, he takes one hit and he's dead.
There's a hook. That was really, really nice. And Winter Wyvern ends up picking the kill on that.
They're going to push
Shadow Fiend most of the words. And yeah, they're going to go for the tier 3 here. What's there to stop him? Queen of Pain's down. That ult isn't scary. And what, a Walrus Punch is going to hurt this Phantom Assassin? She's pretty farmed at this point.
Oh, now Shivy's going to move forward. We'll end up getting the crit down and bring down Kratos Human. Now they'll turn around, look for Baga, and it looks like they should be able to get him. No, the Aegis will end up getting popped, but Francis, look at the damage that he's doing to Therens. Therens will turn around, get the Sleight of Fist out, but in comes Shivy with the crit and completely and utterly destroys Therens on multiple fronts. That had gotta have been a painful whack of the scythe as 3 are down now on T-Show. And it looks like Leviathan. Well, we talked about T-Show wanting to push down towers and Raxes early, but Leviathan are the ones that are actually doing it. Ice Blast will come through, and it will miss onto everyone but Shivy. So that might be enough for Leviathan to back off as they force the buyback onto Therens. Maybe they counter-engage here, but no, in comes the Sonic Wave, and it misses completely. Jenkins, he's got the Blade Mail out, but he's as good as dead. I think Leviathan are happy to let that one go down. They get the tier 3 tower, but if they lose any more, then it starts to become not worth it. Seems they have disengaged and completely, and they are scot-free, only losing 2.
Speaking of losing, Nightstalker went down, and he was their gem carrier, and now the gem is on Broodmother. That's going to make her a lot harder to kill.
Yeah.
So you're actually completely fine with the... You're completely fine with that fight, I think, if you're Leviathan. Like, that was a huge mistake by the Queen of Pain. That's game losing. Getting caught out there without buyback after you bought your Orchid, and they know you don't have buyback because they see that you just got Orchid, so I think that might have just lost them a significant timing for the game. I'm not going to say that the game is over because it ain't over until it's over, but good lord, that was a bad mistake to make.
Yeah, these XP graph and gold graphs just, they look kind of funny because it's been in T-Show's favor for a while, and then Leviathan are clawing their way back in, and now it seems like maybe T-Show are going to bring it home because that was a really nice high ground defense. They lose their tower, but their racks are still standing and in pretty good health. Well, perfect health, actually.
Well, they're losing the farm war. Like, the PA and the SF are just going to increase in farm exponentially over time.
Yeah, they're really good flash farmers. I mean, we talked about the battle. Oh, the hook comes in. Here. They will catch King RD. Now, wait, he's still being attacked by Shivy. Okay, maybe not anymore, but they will finally get him. They retrieve their gem. And every little thing that had gone at least in sort of in favor of T-Show in that last fight has been completely
They're going to take
reverted. Yep, Francis, maybe popping a Requiem.
No, that's just styling. He's taunting all the way up to the high ground. He is ready to go in for this Rax. He's going to start with the ranged Rax for some reason, and looks like Sis will go in. Doesn't have ult for another 20 seconds, but it looks like Ice Blast is going to be on the mark, getting Mineski Fangirl really, really low. Walrus Punch will finish him off. Queen of Pain getting the kill streak for that, and now it looks like Tusk is in some danger. It's going to take a lot of damage as Maelstrom cogs us himself, and it looks like Tusk might be able to scamper away. Does take a dagger to the face, and there is no blink for another second, so it looks like, oh, there we go. There's the blink. Should be going in, getting dirty. Has the BKB. That is her 10-second BKB, so she's going to be safe for a long while now here. It looks like Leviathan are backing off right now, although no, Jenkins is caught out and is going to be taken down. So Queen of Pain getting herself another kill and Clockwork struggling.
Just cut your losses, honestly.
Yeah.
They might be able to get Flying Zebra here. It's important that they don't, though, because he's the gem carrier. Hey, he's fine.
Oh, and comes the Shadow Strike, and they've got him. Maybe they can try to retrieve this gem. He'll pop in the Cold Embrace, but he is dead. The gems hit the deck, and with the snowball coming in, that will eat up everything, including the gem. So they'll get it back, but it doesn't look like Shivy wants to let it go without a fight. He jumps forward onto Human. They've got the Orchid onto him, though. He gets the gem to hit the deck. They send the Courier to get it, and they get it! The Courier says, oh, he kills the Courier. How did he see it?
This is so floppy.
Where did it fall?
I don't know.
Oh, it's on the Queen of Pain.
Wait, how?
If it dies on the Courier, does it just die with the? Oh no, Queen of Pain got it back.
It drops from the Courier.
Yeah, it's on the Qua.
But I thought the Courier died here.
Yeah, I did too, but I guess not. Well, that is probably the most well-traveled gem
Well,
in
there we go.
this history. So
this is a train wreck. Like both teams made so many mistakes. Like I'm not even gonna like. Francis should.
Francis should what, dude? Francis should what?
Yeah, what should Francis do, man? Alright, Francis is going for the rune. Is that what he should do? Well, he is going to go ahead and pick up a Demon Edge. If this is a Rapier, this will be my favorite game in Pro Dota, but he's probably going to go into that Daedalus to get himself just some more raw damage and bring in the crits.
Yep, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you now, man. Yeah, but bring in the crits with the Phantom
He should have used his
Assassin.
BKB.
Okay.
Like, he should have used his BKB before he got cold feet, because then he just dies. I don't know. That was game losing.
Yeah, that was
I don't know if it was game losing. I
interesting.
think it's really still anyone's match at this point, as each team fight seems to flip-flop, with kills being traded in both directions, and so far there's no one that's really unkillable, or no one that's the absolute target for all the damage, so I don't know, but we are going to see Francis get brought in here. It's going to take a snowball in. There's that BKB we were talking about. He gets punched up in the middle, wants to channel that Requiem, will take an Ice Blast to the face, but it looks like Winter Wyvern's going to try to keep him alive, and Winter Wyvern's going to go down. Unnecessary kill there, as Francis might still be in some trouble, trapping the Ice Shards, trying to clean up the spiders. Is going to go ahead and just try to take on the rest of T-Show. It will go down. Ember Spirit getting the kill for that.
What is going
That's game losing.
on?
That one I would say.
They're gonna lose
that's
barracks
game
here.
losing.
They're gonna lose barracks.
Yeah, they've got 2 dead with no buyback. Francis being gone is bad enough, but including the Winter Wyvern, that
Flying
is a
Zebra
very
made a
sloppy
huge
fight.
mistake. Like, he could have used Glimmer Cape and he could have used his ultimate to protect SF, but then he just ran in, got Orchided, and died. That was a big mistake. Now they're going to lose Roche too, so they're not going to go for barracks. This is actually smarter. Because they don't know if Francis has a buyback or not. Spoiler, he doesn't, because he bought a Javelin.
Yeah, so he is going for an MKB? Yeah, probably just to...
Yeah, he has to.
If you don't, you never hit King RD. Between Vampiric, not Vampiric, or what is it, Insatiable Hunger? No, it's Incapacitating Bite that gives him his chance. What am I talking about?
Oh yeah.
Incapacitating Bite and the Solar Crest, you don't hit him. He's got like upwards of, what, 80% dodge of hit rate? It's crazy.
I wanted the Rapier. I saw that Demon Edge and I was like, please, come on, man, bring it home. But we are going to see the more practical build from him. So he's not ready to just goof off and tag out yet. He wants to go. He wants to target the Spider, who's been putting so much pressure onto their lane. They still have 2 tier 2 towers, so they're not totally out of this. I'm not ready to count Leviathan down. I think they've still got a bunch of team fight left in them, and if they can get some smart picks, especially onto the Broodmother and the Queen of Pain, I think they can come back from this.
What do you build on the Ember Spirit? He's got 2,200 gold. What do you buy next?
So we're clearly not buying some Battle Furies, because that would have been done by now, but he's going to go for the Manta, so let's go for something goofy like a Scotty.
Scotty isn't entirely goofy, though. I mean, it's an okay item. If I were to put a bet on what he's going for next, I would bet either that Battle Fury or an MKB. I mean, give something more to this fight. Maybe the MKB for the mischance coming the way of the...
Phantom Assassin.
Well, you know, the Phantom Assassin as well, but also the Crippling Fear of Nusham applies a mischance.
Oh, it looks like Tusk might be in a sticky situation here. He's going to get hooked in. Nice hook by the Clockwork just to start off the fight. And Clockwork gets a nice quick kill, but there's going to be an Ice Blast catching out. Was that 2 or 3?
All 3.
All 3. So that's going to be some... They know where the Radiant are. They know where they're going. And Clockwork is hasted. He might not be ready to give up this fight. He might want to go for more.
Therence, he's a little bit out of position here. Just a little bit, Jenkins. Waiting in. He does not have his hook for 30 seconds. And although it is nighttime, they didn't want to walk up and try to throw anything on him. Very surprising maneuver. Granted, he does have a remnant back if he ever felt a little bit pressured. But, you know, with an instant cast Crippling Fear, or very close to, that may have been the kill there. But they won't let it go. Instead, Nusham and the rest of them will group up underneath the tier 2 top looking for a fight.
Yeah, who takes this fight right here? Who wants to initiate this fight? Because I honestly don't know if any team wants to be the one to start it, except for the Clockwork.
They're just forcing rotations because they see bottoms pushing in. There's no way they can fight at a tier 2 when their Spiderling's bottom. Like threatening a tier 3.
I think the ideal situation there usually ends up being, well, you wait for 1 or 2 of them to actually TP to defend the lane, and then you initiate.
There's a smoke.
But who's smoking? It's going to be T-Show that smoke up. A very interesting maneuver. Okay, again, going back to that, they did see Flying Zebra TP to the bottom lane, so they know he is not in the fight. So So now if they were to initiate on anyone, perhaps even Jenkins, they may just be able to find this kill without that much risk of counter initiation. Though everything's got a little bit of a price to pay, some uncertainties to go along with it. Maybe this is their fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all down to the... Yeah, I mean, if you're T-Show, who do you initiate on in general? If you pick up anyone.
SF. You just want to burst him down before he can do anything, because you know he doesn't have buyback. Once they see the Monkey King bar, they know he doesn't have buyback, so he becomes the most important target. They see him now, so. But
yeah,
they're feeling really
because
they know. Well, they know that Leviathan is standing behind him, so they can't go.
Another gem on the playing field is going to be this time Vaughn Zebra to pick it up. We can have a little bit of a gem wash here and see who's got him. It's Baga on the other team that's holding the little green eye of truth.
Queen of Pain showing herself.
He's got Aegis. He's fine.
Night Stalker has Gemma's True Sight, but Ancient Apparition also does, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's going to be 2 gems in the field here. Ancient Apparition is still holding that gem that originally belonged to the Winter Wyvern, so that's 2 gems out of that little girl's pocket. She's lowest on the net worth chart, so that poor dragon is never going to get the item she needs. She has the Glimmer Cape, which is nice, and the Arcane Boots, but is she going to be building into Guardian Graves?
She needs a Blink.
When will she get that?
It needs to be Blink.
Blink?
Blink? Yeah, it has to be Blink. If she stands too close to the fight, then she just gets orchided by the Queen of Pain. It needs to be Link. Like, forget getting Guardian Greaves. You just need your range of initiation to be larger.
She'll have enough gold for that? I mean...
Yeah, like, is she ever going to farm it?
Probably not, but that needs to be the item. I think it's pointless to waste your money on a Greaves, because you're just going to get bursted every single time. You just need to stand as far back as possible.
You just Greaves it off.
But you still get bursted, because you're just sitting there.
You get bursted if you got... I don't know. I don't think you can buy a Blink in this game. I do not think you'll be able to save up enough gold to buy the Blink, especially if you're getting bursted down. That means you just have to stay far back in every single team fight. You get nothing out of it anyway, so... I don't know.
Yeah, but you just stand back as far as possible. They go and initiate on Francis or something, and then when they initiate, you counter-initiate, because you're standing so far back that they don't think that you're there.
If you ever get to that point, it means he's taken countless fights where he's done that without a Blink.
Well, so, yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to get the gold, but
the game is
going
on.
Other point.
Please stop fighting, I'm scared. Anyway, we are going to see Baga just go ahead and pick up those Guardian Greaves. Are those new, or they have those for a long time? Because I feel like I've seen them before. But either way, Ice Splash is coming out casually to scout out the bottom lane. They want to make sure this lane doesn't push too much, as they had such a lead with the Spiders, able to push into the tier 3s, but haven't gotten anything off of that. The tier 3 still being at pretty good health. So what's T-Show's plan right now? Do they just farm and wait for the fight to start, or do they try to initiate it? Do they smoke up and find a pick-off?
They have to play... Well, they play very scared now because they passed the point where Broodmother can be relevant. I usually say that Broodmother stops being useful at around 35 minutes, and at that point it's basically like you're playing 4v5 because she doesn't do anything anymore. And like if you look at her items, it's all early game. It's Vlad's, it's a Solar Crest, there's even a BKB that hasn't been used yet because why would you want to take a team fight? So they're in a really awkward position where their Broodmother doesn't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
So how does she keep herself useful? Is there anything she can do to kind of...
No.
Well, she picks up an Invis rune, that's really helpful for her. But can she just go in and try to wrap this out? But on the top lane, we're going to see Phantom Assassin just going in, getting the tower. Now it's going to be Leviathan smoked up. Were they smoked up?
No.
Or was that just a weird bug on my screen?
Yeah, it's a weird bug on your screen. To go back to your question, which I think was, what does the Broodmother do?
Told you, son.
Oh, okay. Well, wait. That's 100% win rate with Greaves, right?
On one game?
That's a big enough sample size,
yeah,
right?
That's a pretty good win, right? Well, they are going to go into the Roche Pit. Check it out. They still got about a minute. Is that 30 seconds or a minute? I can never read this stupid timer. But what does Radiant do now?
Radiant, you just wait for Roche and then push, because they also know that the Broodmother stops being relevant. Like, if you look at her movement, she's basically just standing back and letting the Ember Spirit take all the farm on the map, so that he can become the most farmed hero for their team.
I think I was going to hit that, actually, before we started going back and forth again and again. At this point, I think Broodmother is doing exactly what she should be doing, you know, trying to farm, trying to get split pushing going on. if she wants to be relevant, she's got to start building actual man fight items, because right now Broodmother fills this interesting niche where she can drop down a web where she knows the fight's going to happen and then just kind of like whittle around the fight and go after someone on the back lines. Maybe try to man fight a support or catch someone out, get a slow down. I don't know, something like that. But she obviously is going to have a very difficult time just straight up split pushing, and she can't let her team 4v5. So she's got to try to fill a niche in the team fight to become useful. And by doing that, she's going to have to pick up something like an actual fighting item.
I think that's just a waste of farm.
Speaking of fighting items, PA picks herself up in Abyssal, building up her basher. She now has no buyback, so she needs to be a little bit careful, but that's going to hurt. Who's her target for that?
Well, we're about to find out, as it looks like, was that a bash off the Stifling Dagger? I think I'm way out of touch with that one. Anyway, Ice Blast comes through, but it will be a BKB onto Francis. They're going to punch it up, which stops the cast, and now it's not going to deal as much damage. Still goes through, though, as Kratos the Human, he just gets burst down by the right clicks. King Arthe's trying to fight, trying to do what damage he can, but he attacks so damn slow, and Shibby is just turning and fighting and bringing him down. That is a Broodmother down for 70, and Sakura's Air Human is still dead without buyback. Now we see a couple more buybacks coming back from T-Show. The Winter's Curse is going to lock in Therence. Can they get this kill? He gets the Remnant off. Sis getting hit by the Arctic Burn will now turn around, try to fight. No Sonic Wave out. 100 seconds, does not have Aghanim Scepter, so the cooldown is long as hell. Cold Feet on to Mindsky, though. They go in with the Ice Blast. It'll stop him from regenerating up, so that means he has to get back, but they will bring him down with the Sleight of Fist. Shibby, though, going to turn around looking for Sis. We'll find him. Now there's Orchid down onto Shibby. They chase him down Therence. We'll get hit by the crit, Shibby! Oh, the double kill! He's still alive and kicking. He's going to... Oh, no. He dies to Baga, but they avenge him with Nusham and Jenkins bring down Baga.
Why is he just now buying back?
I don't know, but he does buy back, and now he's going to try to take the fight. Now he'll bring down Nusham, gets a Gem of True Sight. One Rax go down.
Well-traveled gem I've ever seen in a game of Dota. I think that's the original one that was bought by the Winter Raven the first time. So I think an accurate recap of this fight is just everyone died, and then it just kept happening. But all in all, they lose a melee barracks. So I guess Leviathan do pretty okay, but Tisha they hold.
So TLDR, Game of Thrones, right?
They were just throwing bodies at the fire over and over again, and I feel like Leviathan could have backed out earlier and minimized any damage they had.
I think, like, that entire fight was lost because the Broodmother didn't buy back. Like, they wouldn't have lost their, lost the melee barracks if she had bought back, like, 30 seconds earlier. And she had it. It wasn't a matter of her not having gold. She had, like, 3,000 saved up. I don't know. This is just a lot of misplays, a lot of miscommunications.
Yeah, but I think what you said earlier is definitely coming true. How T-Show, they built for the early game. The Queen of Pain is less relevant. The Broodmother's definitely less relevant right now. They're kind of putting all their eggs in the Ember Spirit basket, and I don't know if he's big enough to hold that.
He needs at least the Lincolns, I think. Like just the Manta style isn't enough, because now he can get Abyssal down by the PA. Like they're getting really good initiations off onto the SF, but he has a Satanic now, so unless they hit him with the AA ultimate, he's just going to tank through every single fight.
We're going to see a big fight break out here as the Radiant have figured out that maybe the Roche is going on. Broodmother does a good job trying to take it on her own, but I don't know if people are going to get here fast enough on the side of the Dire to take this down, and now it looks like Francis is here, and he is angry. Take it away, Ted.
Francis is going to go on and pops his BKB. Can they stop it this time? No, he'll get the full Requiem off. And Therence is just going to have to remnant himself straight on back. The Requiem gets committed. They only lose Baga so far, but Sekiro Serhuman, I just keep messing up his name. Burrito Serhuman goes down, drops the gem in the pit, and now Sis gets to blink away. Very, very roughly timed, but he still gets it off. And T-Show, they're fighting
both of these heroes don't have it. They know they don't have buybacks, so they can either choose between going for another set of barracks or go for Roche. I think Roche is the smarter decision.
And they're going for Roche, and I think that's exactly what they need to just finally break that high ground convincingly without losing much of their own for it. They're not going to probably stay in as late as they did last time, because it just felt like, I don't know, that last time that Leviathan broke the base, they just stayed too long and kept getting killed. But the Roche is going to go down. This is a cheese as well, and it looks like the Winter Raven's just going to guard it as the Clockwork hooks in and snaps that up. So a little bit of teamwork coming out there, and yeah, Phantom Assassin with Aegis, Abyssal Blade, BKB, Battle Fury, Helm of the Dominator. That is terrifying to fight against. What do you do if you're T-Show? How do you lock her down?
Probably, I think they just lose at this point. Like, if Therence gets blown up here, it's over.
Oh, top lane.
He does have
a
a res
there.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I mean, Therence, it looks like he took so much damage there. It's crazy what France is going to be able to drop down. But right now, Leviathan, they've got way too many cores that are way too strong. I don't know. I think we mentioned earlier on, they're putting all their eggs in Therence's basket. He's got 4K gold. Do you think maybe, just maybe, we see the Divine Rapier?
No.
Yes! Please! I really want a Divine Rapier. I've been waiting to see it.
Oh, head-on-head fight, actually. They're going to drop down the web, but it's a little too far back. Snowball in the middle of the cogs. They all blink in as well. The Blade Mail will keep him, well, actually, won't keep him alive, but he will be able to get himself out. Eats a cheese. I don't know. He gets back up to full HP, though. BKB out on assist. Francis is still holding on to his, though, as now the Winter's Curse will lock this in. He's not taking all that much damage. Now comes through the hook. Will stun down on 3. They've got the Sonic Wave to fly through, but Francis is still fighting. Now will drop down the Requiem. Patience from Zhao, or at least Francis, as he turns around now onto King RD. BKB just now wearing off his Snowball, keeping him alive, but not for very much longer, as both of them will end up going down. Leviathan will hold out throughout the entirety of that fight, come out on top, and T-Show, oh boy, this is now looking really, really terrible for them. But I think we went back to an earlier question here. Where does Therence go with all this gold?
I don't think there's any item he can get that wins him the game. I think he needs at least two items to win.
He needs to buy another team member right here. We are going to see him go in, gets hooked on by the Clockwork, beautiful initiation, and will go down right away to the Phantom Assassin, and now it's GG. As Sis goes in, it immediately gets picked off just due to the raw damage coming out from Phantom Assassin, and man, that's what happens when you let her farm, and now it's Leviathan taking game 1 of this best-of-3 series.
That was a draft win. Like, they put a lot of emphasis on the Broodmother, but they didn't get enough towers in the early game. Like, they took a tier 1 and a tier 1 on bottom and top, and they just didn't get enough out of the map. Like, she was farmed, but she wasn't doing anything with it.
All right, with that said, guys, that was game number 1 of what could be a fantastic best-of-3 series. Of course, Leviathan will take the victory, first of all, but we still have potentially 2 more games to play before we see who will face off against Unknown in the upper bracket. Of course, I'm Chicago Ted. Joining me is Turbo and AnneDroid. On stats, it is going to be Dr. Corporal British. Thank you very much for watching. Stick around. Game number 2 coming up next.